And I'm back with another couple ideas that would be great for revamping the wilderness that they will be doing later this year around autumn. So, with that, the number one thing that I would kind of like would have to be the enhanced god staffs, which, as we all know, it's in the wilderness, and we gotta kill and train on these battle mages. Use the spell 100 times. But what if the NPC finally discovered that instead of using the spell 100 times, perhaps we used it 1,000 times and we had the ability to get an enhanced version of it. And this is the NPC that I am talking about, him. So once we do, let's say 1,000 times, we will have the ability to upgrade our tier 60 god staff, which is easily buyable for a whopping 80k. Now, it is level 60, remember. So, with the enhanced, I would love for it to be level 75. That way, it's on par with the Vanquish staff, which is through questing, and it's not strong enough for a chaotic staff, so it would still be a very viable and good upgrade. And of course, 15 extra levels of accuracy, as I do know some people who prefer using the Gothic staff while they are killing bosses like Zamrock, and they don't want to waste it and put it on an EOF for, again, a Zamrock boss. I mean, that's like a very newbie boss. Now for this next one, I did kind of talk about it in my part 1 video, but what if there was a new archaeology relic that required us to dig by these scorpions within the wilderness, or we're able to finally enter these little caves that you do see here in the background. And then I guess for the archaeology relic, maybe have it like scorpion sting or something that will prevent your stats from being lowered. You will no longer have the disease effect, and you will not have the rotting effect within the wilderness, as I did propose. This will also mean that Croesus could potentially be easier for iron players, as sometimes super restores are hard to get. And then to make this item, since it prevents decaying in the wilderness, let's say you need 1,000 of any kind of raw or cooked food so that there is a good, I guess, item sink, but it's just a one-time fee, so it's not really too important. But yeah, I was just thinking that could be a very good potential reward added to the wilderness. Next up, what if we had a new mini boss added into the wilderness? And I don't mean just a normal mini boss like the demon flash mobs or the lava noodle strike wyvern or even the chaos elemental, because I mean that last one, he's a boss, but it's like so easy to do. And then just for this sake, since I don't see any reason for people to be going to the red dragon isles, because I mean, what are you going to do? Just pick up these empty vials and maybe these like burnt bones, and then maybe probably around here there will be a staircase or a dungeon to enter, and you'll be able to kill a very nimble red dragon. That's a mini boss that does have the ability to drop unfocused boots that are hybrid. And then this would be better than, of course, the free Silverhawks, and I said unfocused, meaning you can have the boots have two effect. So let's say you add the fleeting boots and the blast of fusion boots. That way you can use it while using magic and range. And then you can just swap that again, or a completely new item, make it dyeable or something, so that you can finally, when you're using more than one style at endgame bosses, it could potentially help you, because we are severely lacking in hybrid boots. Another good idea I was thinking of is a different method of getting elder logs. And then I have seen this on old school when you're killing ants that their body drops to the floor and you have a chance to cut logs from them. So I was thinking, what if it was you, magic, and elder logs? And of course, since it does involve combat and this being in the wilderness, there is a little bit of risk to it and a potential good way to crash the elder log prices. Now, I know elder logs are mostly used for a money making method because it's useful for the 1,000 logs needed for the war's retreat buff, which I'm gonna be honest, I've seen a lot of iron players on my iron account say don't even bother cutting the 1,000 elder logs because it simply takes too long and it's not worth it. I know this idea is going to be a very long shot, but I would like for Bounty Hunter, or to some degree it was released back in game, kind of like the Crucible, but the rewards has to be amazing. And for that, I was thinking we'll be able to upgrade Void Armor from level 42 all the way up to level 82. And then just to have like a little prestige, let's say to upgrade it to 52, you need to win 100 games. To upgrade it to level 62, you will need to win 200 games. To level 72, you will need to win 300 games. And lastly, to level up to level 82, you will have to win 500 games. So it will kind of be like Fist of Guthics in a way, with a little bit of competition, and it will bring back the void usefulness, which I know people are going to argue that, oh, we do have invention, but I've noticed with invention, all the end game stuff, like even Bandle's armor, is way better than void because the perks are just so overpowered. And I was thinking of a good way to find a middle ground because a lot of people do not like invention, as you always have to constantly buy the divine charges. So yeah, I was thinking they could probably bring back void, although they may need to tweak some items because at a lot of endgame bosses you pretty much need Cinderbane gloves. So I mean, unless we got like pest control boots or void boots, that would be pretty good for that 4-piece effect. Much like the woodcutting method I did speak about earlier, what if with the ring we're able to build the buildings in or outside of the spirit realm, and then on the opposite side the buildings will be fully built or a little bit worn down, and just use the nearby tiles to fix each window, and maybe 50 planks per building to temporarily restore it as a possible construction method. Much like the god statue, since it's a monthly, this could be a weekly. And for the planks, let's just say it requires 50 planks a week. The tiles, they're on the floor and you can just pick up. The planks are also on the floor, but there's not as much. And then while you do build this, perhaps when you go back outside of the spirit realm, or the opposite way, you now have access to selling your ore and bars to probably an NPC within this smithing hut that buys it for low alchemy or high alchemy, which I would say low because it would just be better since it doesn't crash the market too much and removes the need without making nature runes. And then probably in another one, let's just say there's like a little food shop for pizza again, which is pretty much the bandit camp, although I would like their products to be a little bit better over to the ruins. And yeah, I think that's about it. Maybe just make this like a weekly construction thing. Next up, would have to be the elemental runes, which does have an issue. And I was thinking these ghosts nearby, they're like the elemental workshop. But instead of killing them, you mine them. So it's like AFK mining. But while you are mining them, you actually get runes, like elemental runes. Let's say 50 every mining strike or something. And then it could double based on if you're wearing the Rework armor, probably demonic skull or demonic scrimshaw, as I changed that item drastically. And then it would be like an air ghost, a water ghost, a fire ghost, and an earth ghost. That way it's pretty much an AFK way to get elemental runes without having to mine pure essence. And then if you ever need to bank, there's a banker right here. So it's little to no risk unless you just AFK on mobile for like 10 years straight and then someone kills you. But yeah, that's all the ideas I've come up with. If you have any other ideas, don't forget to comment down below and I could possibly make a part 3 guide of this. With that, thank you all so much for watching and enjoy the rest of your day.